Thank you so much for having me. I would like to say good afternoon to everyone, and also thank you to Vanguard for putting this together. One of the things that I would like to say is the fact that unfortunately we live in a world where women issues are not taken seriously. And most times, even when it comes to death, in terms of violence against women, killing of women, there's not as much importance that is always placed towards it. And I think I would just like to say that it's okay, it's done, it's enough that continuously we've always asked to be brought to the table, and we haven't been brought to the table. And I think the time has come for us indeed to not just wait to be asked, to be given permission to be there, but for us to take a charge and also bring our own table. Where we don't have tables, let's get our own masks and get people to be at the conversation. In terms of getting policies, and you're asking the structures that need to be in place, the first thing that we need to do is to ensure that we are at the drawing table. We are not just merely asking, but of course, we are there, we are part of the decision making, we are part of lawmaking. As long as we are not part of lawmaking, we're not going to get those laws that we need to have that would ensure that women are protected. We have a lot of, in our constitution, we have a lot of discriminatory injunctions against women, discriminatory laws. In a lot of, for example, recently of the police act, where it was said that if a woman gets pregnant out of wedlock, and then she can be sacked. Meanwhile, there's no provision that says that if a man impregnates a woman out of wedlock, he too can be sacked. So these are things that are discriminatory, and they're in the law. And the only way we can go over that is to ensure that we are part of politics, is to ensure that we are at the table, is to ensure that we are making laws, not just waiting to be given opportunity to come out there and just shine or just speak. Let me just give you an example before I come directly to that question. For example, people see me a lot, and one of the things they always ask is that, oh, they're shocked that I'm married. Why should marriage have anything to do with the fact that I'm a human being and I have rights, human rights, which are inherent to me just because of the fact that I'm a being, I'm a human being, and then I have a right to speak, I have a right to be heard, and then some people just feel that, no, just because I'm married, I shouldn't be, or because I'm speaking, then I'm not supposed to be married or something like that. So we have systemic discrimination, which we have to taking place. It's not about COVID-19. COVID-19, they don't bring up the discrimination we have. It's what we have had since the world came to being in memorial. We have systemic discrimination, we have societal discrimination. Some societal norms are geared against women, and these are the things that we need to start to challenge. And so, first of all, we need to get to the Constitution that is not gender biased, that is not biased against the female gender. The Constitution that treats everyone equally. Right now, we do not have that. We also want laws. We want the VAP Act to be signed to be domesticated in a lot of states. It has not been. And then you could hear when the Ondo State, wife of the Ondo State governor was talking, he said it hasn't been domesticated. That these are the things that we need to do. And how do we get it done? It's by having more women in the legislative arm of government. And when we're talking about politics, a lot of women say, oh, it's not, I'm not supposed to do politics and all of that. Then you have the society that will quickly call you a prostitute because either you're doing politics or one thing or the other. And then you have family members that will say to you, as a woman, you shouldn't behave. Hey, I'm not talking about politics. Even in family meetings, women are not allowed to speak. So these are the things that we must begin to stop right now. It's not about creating awareness. When we keep saying, oh, create awareness so that those who are not either the rural women or those who are not educated get to know, we are talking as if those who are actually educated have been given opportunity to even be. They haven't. The women that are educated, there are Nigerian women that can lead this country and lead it very well. When you're talking about the security architecture of this country, when they're having security meetings, you never see a single woman. And let me ask you, how is the security of this country? It's in shambles because we do not have women in places that should be wanted. In everything, when we're talking about the upbringing of a girl is supposed to take
control. She's supposed to be in charge. Even with your older brother, you are there, you are a girl, you're supposed to be more mature. We're taught multitasking at a very early age. We go into our houses, we do all of this. When it comes to PTA, you will see women there. Anything that has to do with volunteering, anything that has to do with sacrifice, doing the work and not getting recognition and not getting any money, you find women there. But the moment it becomes something that there's a reward system attached to it, women are thrown out of the way. Then they begin to remember their society, they begin to remember their religion. The person that does not obey God in the whole lot of this will remember that God said that a woman should obey her husband and then they will teach it in a patriarchal manner. And all of these things have gone on. So we shouldn't sit here and kid ourselves and just talk at people is enlightenment. Enlightenment is not what is needed. There are a lot of women who are enlightened. There are a lot of women who will carry the other burden of the women. If by the time we get into places of power, which is the political power, and I'll round up by saying that we have asked and asked and asked for years. Who am I saying for years? For hundreds of years, for centuries and millennia probably, we've been asking, we've not been given. COVID-19 should tell us that it is no longer enough to ask. It is okay for us to challenge the system, for us to go out there, for us to get what we want. It doesn't matter whether we fail or not. It doesn't matter whether they're going to mock us or not. It doesn't matter whether they're going to ridicule us or not. We are already being ridiculed anyway. We are already being mocked anyway. We are not anywhere. And so going out there, challenging the system and ensuring that every one of us begin to participate in politics and ensure we are at the table, not just as wives of those who are in offices, but as the people who are actually making the decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha, for that passionate intervention. But I'd like to ask you just before you go, you talk about political representation being the cornerstone of moving the needle forward in terms of empowerment for women. What I'd like to know is, are you advocating or would you support an advocacy for some sort of an affirmation action where certain seats are reserved exclusively for women in the legislative arm of government? Say, for instance, 35% of legislative seats must be filled by women. Or you are advocating for a level playing competitive field, but then political parties would have to change their internal constitution that creates a level playing field for women to also participate. So which is it? Do you want an affirmation action where these seats are reserved for women, or you want to empower women to be competitive where they can compete with men within these political parties and win elections? Which is it?
So for me, first of all, as women, we are not asking for tokens. We are not waiting here and asking that, oh, we should be, things should be made easy for us. No, that's not what we are asking for. What we are simply asking for is level playing field. And that goes across everyone. And let me go back a little bit before I answer your question directly. The woman that was killed in Kogi State, the politician, Madam Salome, that was killed in Kogi State, recently there has been a judgment, and I think the person got 12 years or something, which is really small for the kind of crime that was committed. She was in politics. She wasn't asking to be given any extra help. She just needed a level playing field to be allowed to participate the way that she can, but she wasn't. Coming back to the question that you've asked me, I will never be one to ask for affirmative action of 35%. Why can't we get 100%? Why can't people be put in there? It's all about competence, character, and capacity. And Dr. Obes recently said that, gender is, leadership is gender neutral. Within the COVID-19 period, we have seen that the countries that have done extremely well in tackling this pandemic and being able to steer their countries very well have been countries that are led by women. You're talking about New Zealand, you're talking about Germany and all of that. So it's important for me particularly, affirmative action is not one that I go for where women should be given 35%. No, we're not asking for total. We only say give us the playing field. The only rule that I would want, if there's this gender law that needs to be passed or something, is the fact that I think they have it in somewhere. Is it Kenya, if I'm sure now, when they say a particular gender cannot hold more than
a certain percentage. So whether it's a female gender or it's a male gender, whatever it is, they cannot hold more than a certain percentage. So that works better for me than limiting it to say that, oh, women should be given this. We are not asking for that, for tokens. We're just saying, give us equity. Let us bring whatever we bring, take us based on what we bring to the field, and we're bringing in competence, character, capacity, courage, empathy, patriotism, innovation. These are things that women should be judged upon, not just to say, oh, okay, because you're a woman, come on and manage this thing. And that's why for me personally, I have issues with things like Ministry of Women Affairs. When that ministry was set up, I was either in secondary school or something, or in the university, I can't remember. And I was very angry when that ministry was set up, because I said to myself, I am not burdened. I am not limited because I'm a woman. And so why are they setting up this thing for me? And what at the end of the day, what has to be done for women? What we want is that what we are treated as every other person, and we are allowed to be who we want to be, and all of these obstacles that are constantly being put ahead of us should be stopped. From families, from houses, where you are told that because you're a woman, you can't be a leader, from telling our children to stay in the kitchen while their brothers are playing football, they are forming alliances, they are learning power tussle, they are learning politics on the street. We are denying our daughters, we keep them in the kitchen, we keep them secluded. From changing your surname where you lose touch with who you are, your friend can't even find you on Facebook because you've changed your surname as a woman, and from being told because you're married to a certain state, you're no longer from this state, or never are you from the other state. These are the discriminatory acts that we're saying should be. And I will round up on this by saying, at the beginning of this conference, a particular statement was made, which was that, with COVID-19, now a lot of companies are allowing staff to work from their houses. And this, of course, is advantageous to women because they get to now be able to take care of the family more. And that, for me, I have a problem with that. Who says it's only women that should be taking care of the family? I mean, it's a relationship. It should not be gender-based roles. It should be strength-based roles. And that's why, personally, I've always committed to the fact that when anyone asks me now that, oh, how do you cope with your activism and your heart? I always say to them the same way that my male counterpart cope with activism and the home. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
There's something called imposter syndrome. It affects a lot of us women. We always feel that, oh, we're not good enough, maybe you're not doing it. You know, you did great, and anywhere you are, own your space, own your voice, and speak out. And your network is something which is amazing. It is not for women to educate the men. They should educate themselves. And I'll say to you as a generation that is much older than your own, we ought to have done all of this job. I have 2 children, a boy and a girl. My son is going to be 22 at 30th of March. I didn't bring him up as a boy. I didn't bring him up with those patriarchal arrogance. I knew what I didn't want growing up as a child, and I ensured that my son knew that there was nobody who was going to cook his meal when he grows up. Nobody, he's not going to sit in the parlor, somebody will bring food for him. He had to be there and do the things that are supposed to be done. And if there's nothing like gender-based rules, what we have are strength-based rules, and they saw it in the family. So I'll just say to you, thank you. And for me, I'm so in awe of your generation that are not taking all the things that are being told, that are standing there fighting and doing all you can do to, shatter the glass ceiling. And by the way, I was also told I will not get anyone to marry me. And April 17th will be my 23rd wedding anniversary, and I had a great relationship. So having said that, I will come back to the question. And I think one of the things we need to understand is that action speaks louder than words. When we said to the girl child that she should dare to dream, she should aspire, she should shatter glass ceilings, she should get education, and then she knows it's all a lie. Because when her sisters, the Chibok girls that were taken away, it's almost 7 years now that they have been in captivity. And after Chibok girls, Leah Sharifu, we just hearing that she has given birth to her second child in captivity. And we see all the ones that have been taken away. So that tells the girl child that what we're saying, telling her to dream, to aspire, to shatter glasses, to get education, it simply means that we will not have her back when anybody comes after her. And that's a major issue that we need to really look into. In 2014, a Chibok parent said something, a Chibok father. He said, government used to fine us for not sending our children to school. Now that we have sent our children to school and they have taken away our children, who is going to fine government? This is very clear. In the northern part of the country, Most especially girls are not even allowed to go to school. When I was growing up in Kano, by the age of
let us hear our
level, all my friends were married off. I was seen as odd because I kept going to strictly the native and the people from there. So it was looked upon, why should you be in school, especially if you're a Muslim. A lot of people bring on religion and all of that. But one of the key things that needs to be done is to get that education. And right now, education is under siege. Education in Nigeria is under attack. You know, the terrorists are winning at their game by ensuring that schools are being closed. When people have education, they know what it is that ought to be done. Even Islamically, they know the rights of women that a lot of people try to trample down. Islamically, a woman is supposed to get her own education. A woman has a right to her wealth. She doesn't need to share her wealth with anybody. A woman has a right to her body. In Islam, a woman can decide she does not want to breastfeed her child, and she will not. And she will either get a wet nurse or use formula. But these are things that most times they don't even allow women to know, and through lack of education. A man must pay child support. If you divorce a woman, you must pay child support in Islam for a boy until he grows, and then for a girl until she gets married. But these are things that are not a lot of women don't know because of that lack of education. And that is where we are right now. So it is very important for all of us to begin to speak for every one of us. As long as one child is in captivity, we all are in captivity. As long as one girl is in captivity, we all are in captivity. And for those that are being taken away, if you look at Leah Sharifu, what is Leah Sharifu's crime? Is it because she's a girl? Is it because she's Nigerian? Is it because she's Christian? Is it because she refused to leave her religion? And there's in the Quran, God said in the Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the second chapter of the Quran, that there is no compulsion in religion. You cannot force somebody to become a Muslim or to become a non-Muslim. And so it is for people's choices. So what are our religion? Yesterday I did an interview and I said, what are our religious leaders doing? What are religious organizations doing? Where is Muri? Where is CAN? Where is JNI? When it's time to talk about karma or time to focus on non-issues, they are very vocal. Where are they? Where are their voices when it comes to this? And finally, I would say, it is the primary duty, it is the primary responsibility of government to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. And any government that cannot protect the lives and properties of its citizens is not fit to become the government. And so the Nigerian government must protect children in school and must ensure that they are not abducted. When any one of us is abducted, all of them must be brought back. Because, and for us citizens also, we must always know that when we speak for those who are abducted, we are not doing them a favor. We are only doing that which is right. And then, at the back of our mind, we should realize that in Nigeria, the victim card is going around. It is not, in Nigeria, becoming a victim is no longer a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors. And tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. The question is who is next? So it is imperative for us to make demands on our government to protect the lives and citizens of Nigeria, because that is its primary responsibility. Thank you.